Our last comic is amazing. She has an album called Slutty Pencil on iTunes. She is also the one that taught me how to get on stage and do stand-up, so if I'm bad, it's her fault. And if you could please welcome to stage the amazing, wonderful, friendliest, nicest woman ever, Sue Smith.
We love this song. What are we doing? The song. Hi guys. Hi. How's it going? I live in this neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, 11211. I've lived here for like 10 years, and it's been great because I've seen the neighborhood change so much. Like, it's just really evolved over the last 10 years, you know? Like, now we have 13 green juice places. So nice. And like 14 of those quirky barber shops where the barbers all wear suspenders and have weird mustaches. Those are real numbers that we have. Still no hospital. No hospital. So like you might get hit on your fixed gear bike, you might die, you might bleed, but you're gonna look great. You are gonna look great. I assure you. I left my job, my office job 6 months ago when I got fired. I was like, this is great. I'm gonna be a freelance artist. This is so great. Cut to like a week later, it just means I'm babysitting a lot. I joined this app that's basically like an Uber for babysitting. And so they like vet you, the babysitter, a lot. Like I have 2 background checks, all this stuff. But like you, the babysitter, do not know anything about the children. Like all you know is their names and their ages. And so like I walked into this house and the woman was like, oh, there's Alexander here at the ADHD, I'm going to the opera, bye. Then like an hour later, he's chasing me around the apartment with his electroshock machine. He's like, just try it. Just try it. And then I babysat this girl in Carroll Gardens who's very lovely. And she was like, do you want to meet my imaginary friend? Her name is Layla Gupta and she tries to murder me. I swear to God. I'm like, I'm going back to the office. So I got a new office job where I'm like, you know, my work matters. I feel valued. You know, I'm making a difference in the world. I'm writing Instagram captions for a living. It's great. I really like it. I'm a feminist, like you should be, unless you're a sociopath. Those are probably the only people that aren't. I did get married recently, even though I'm a feminist, to a man. I'm sorry, okay? I know that marriage is a weapon of the patriarchy designed to keep women oppressed, okay? They just lose their identity, take on their husband's last name, and start popping out some kids. I get that. But it's like, sometimes you want to wear a pretty dress, you know? I don't know, wear a flower crown, drink artisanal cocktails out of mason jars. Values are boring. I know that my wedding was twee as fuck, I don't care, I just leaned right into it. Sheryl Sandberg did not say what we had to lean into. Thank you. Marriage is exactly the same, except now we have a huge KitchenAid mixer. It's a little registry humor. I thought I was going to be such a chill bride when we got engaged. I was like, I'm a cool bride. I don't need anything fancy. We'll have pies at the wedding. And then like a year later, when the wedding was coming up, I was like, what do you mean there are no cherry blossoms in September? What do you mean? Changes. Yeah, it's hard. Okay. I'm really into serial killers. Thank you for talking about Robert Durst. One good thing that we got out of 2016 was all the serial killer shit, all the true crime. It's everywhere. So I've been listening. It just makes me feel stable in an unstable world, is what I would say. So I've been listening to a lot of murder podcasts, and I recommended one to my friend, and she was like, "It's 2 girls hosting. They're very nice ladies." And my friend was like, I just can't stand the sound of their voices. And you hear this a lot, people like critiquing women's voices. It's like, yeah, well, everything's weird when you hear it for the first time. Remember the first time you heard Bob Dylan? Fucking weird. I mean, it's weird. I'm from a rural town in Pennsylvania, and very conservative, very awful. Never want to go there again. And in my political science class in high school, our teacher was like, yeah, we could never have a female president because once a month her hormones would affect her decision making. And I was like, yeah, that's right, I mean, that's true. And then this other kid was like, yeah, I don't trust something that bleeds every month and doesn't die. And I was like, oh my God, women are the worst, women suck, yeah, you're totally right. And now, like a lot of times, a lot of years later, I'm like, buddy, snot comes out of your dick. We're just supposed to be cool with that? At least blood is badass. Vampires like blood. Nobody wants your dick snot, okay? Nobody wants that. I hate taking the L train every morning at the rush hour. I hate it so bad. When I'm squeezed in, I get very angry. And I got knocked over one day in the morning, and I was like, hey, watch it, asshole. And everyone looked at me like I was a crazy person for speaking out loud on the train. And I was like, okay, never doing that again. I learned my lesson. The next time I took the train at rush hour, there were these kids, not kids. They were preteens, old enough to know better. They had full-size beanbag chairs on the train at rush hour that they did not sit in. Did not say a word to them. I just took their pictures and I sent it to Gothamist like a real New Yorker.